Hello, everybody. It's 2 o'clock on Wednesday. It's that time again. It's the Sports Minion Radio Show. We are live on Facebook Live today. Unfortunately, we are not able to go to Let Go Radio. Miss Wilson had something come up and had something she had to take care of. So I am on Facebook Live today. Want to welcome everybody to the show. Hope everybody is having a great Wednesday. We got an impactful hour for you today. We may actually go over just a little bit. I've got so much stuff to cover. I want to welcome everybody as they come in. Thank you for tuning in to the Sports Minion Radio Show. I did actually, this show is going to be a little bit different today because I've got probably one of the most talked about cerebral palsy issues and one of the probably most talked about disabled issues all around, and we're going to cover that a little bit later in the show. I don't have a lot of sports today because I'm honestly I've got like 2 or 3 things I'm going to cover. We've got football season launching and things like that. I'm going to cover that. I do have some announcements to go over. I'm finally just about fully over my bronchitis and my cold, and I'm not coughing and all that all the time. I am clearing my throat a lot, but that is about the last little bit of issue that I have with this cold that I've had for 2 weeks now, mixed with allergies and things like that. All right, so let's go over a couple things as we get into the show here. The 8th Annual Old School Classic is going to be held Saturday, September the 21st, 2019 at Lake Taylor High School. That is 1384 Kempsville Road in Norfolk, Virginia, 23502. New Chinese martial arts division, stick fighting, over $700 in prize money. It is $60 for 1 or 3 events and $10 for each additional event, aside from kumite, from forms, and then also for weapons and empty hand. So if you want to do anything outside of those 3, it is a $10 additional fee for that. So that, again, is going to be Saturday, September the 21st, Lake Taylor High School. Again, the time frame for that is going to be it's going to start at 10 o'clock sharp. $400 for men's kumite, $200 for the kata grand, and $100 for the women's grand kumite. For the spectator fee, it's going to be $7 with the military ID. If you're a military or a veteran and have your military ID, it is $6. So there's that tournament coming up. We've got Grandmaster Jack Dart's birthday battle coming up, which is going to be Saturday, October the 19th, 2019, Atlantic Shores Christian School, 1217 Centerville Turnpike, North Chesapeake, Virginia, 23320. Black Belt Grand Championship expense money. That's going to be men's Grand Champion is going to be $200 and a trophy. Women's Grand Champion is going to be $200 and a trophy. Weapons versus empty hand is going to be $100 and a trophy. Must have 4 competitors in each division to win the money, to be eligible to win the money. Rules at a glance, real quick: 2 points for a kick, 1 point for hands. You are required to wear all protective gear, including hands, feet, head, cup, and undergarments. For the women, make sure that you wear your protective gear there. Again, coaching permitted only if both competitors have a coach. The cost for this event right now is $70. If you bring 2 non-perishable canned items, that is a $5 discount off of that to bring it down to $65. Registration is from 8:30 to 10. No pre-registration. Black belt meeting is at 10 o'clock. Non-competitive, non-judging black belts must pay a spectator's fee. Competition begins at 10:30, and that's for demo team as well. Competitor's fee is for one or all divisions $70. Again, the spectator's fee is $10. Children 5 and under are free. And again, if you do bring the 2 non-perishable items for the canned food drive that they're having, they will do a $5 discount on that to make it $65. So do want to let you know about that, and make sure that you go out and support these tournaments. These tournaments are a lot of fun, and we're going to have a great time. Again, September 21st and then October 19th, 2019. The year is coming to an end quickly, so that we do have. Tiger Martial Arts Academy does have after school pickup available. I do want to talk just a little bit about this. That is, let's see, that is going to be call 757-488-3882 to see if your child's school is in the zone for pickup. It is actually let's see, in the designated, if it's in the designated pickup area, actually. Parents can pick up your children by 6 p.m., and that is 6 p.m. sharp, guys. So make sure that you do that if you are want to call about the zoning area to see if your child's school is in the zoning area for pickup. Again, 757-488-3882. Hey, Elizabeth, thank you for joining the Sports Minion Radio Show. I greatly appreciate it. Okay, so that's there. I do want to talk about the Caregivers Gala coming up. That is November 16th. That is going to be at the Hub 757. That is, let me give you the address on that. That is the Caregiver Gala's Ball Formal Attire. That is going to be at 6801 Bridgeway Drive in Suffolk, Virginia, 23435, my fault. And that is going to be 4 to 8. Let's see. You know what? And I'm going to cover that. I will cover that just a little bit later in the show. Thank you for asking that. You do need to know what zone you're in, and we will cover that. You can actually check that on the internet. I believe it's like hurricanezone.com or zone, checkyourzone.com. I'll get the website pulled up here in just a minute. Let me also go over this. The Jack Dart actually has a new location. That is the Jack Dart Taekwondo Champions is now at 1949 Lynnhaven Parkway in the Parkway Shopping Center at the intersection of Lynnhaven and Princess Anne Road. The number for the dojo and to get in with Jack Dart, if you get in right now, it's a week free. Guys, take advantage of that. It is awesome. Please, it's 757-671-1020. Again, you can call Jack on that. It's a lot of fun. It's an awesome studio. I've seen the tour. He's got the tour out on Facebook as well. I am not sure. I mean, it's everything seems to be going through fine for me. I don't know if it's your internet or not, but everything is going through fine for me that I can see. I don't know if there's an internet issue. If it cuts out, I'll bring it back up, but everything seems to be fine. All right, so there's one other thing I want to cover. There are a couple of things that are coming for the WWE, and I do want to mention this too. NXT is coming to USA Wednesday, September 18th at 8 a.m. SmackDown is going to Fox Friday, October 4th at 8 a.m. So those are a couple things that we just want to cover. Now, all right, let me a couple things actually happened today, and I want to I'm kind of tired. I'm actually exhausted, to tell you the truth. But I just got back from fishing. I went fishing at Lone Star Lakes Park today in Suffolk, and we had an awesome trip. We talked about a lot of things. Steve and I went, and we caught 20. Well, I caught 23 fish. Broke my record by 3 fish. I had set a record at 17, so I surpassed 17, and then went to 20 and tied the old record, and then Now we're looking at a total of 23. So 23 is my highest record. We caught a total of like 8 crabs, and they were ginormous, but they started off, they were like real hot at first. We caught 4 or 5 right off, and then for like 3 hours, they died down. So we let the crabs go. We pulled the crab pot up, and there were 2 ginormous crabs that were like, in the pot, and we're like, daggone, we let the crabs go. So we had a really cool time, and it was a lot of fun. 23 fish, great day, beautiful weather. And I got to tell you, it didn't really get too hot until the last hour, last 45 minutes of the trip. And we went out there, we got out there about 6:08, and we left about 10, I would say probably 10:45, somewhere in there. So had a really, really, really good time, and it was a great trip. So, all right, that's the fishing story I wanted to cover. Now we got a couple of things I want to go over. Ezekiel Elliott just got paid. This man got paid a lot of money. 6 years, $90 million, $50 million guaranteed. He's with the Cowboys till 2026. He still has 2 years left in his rookie contract. I'm looking at this story and I'm going, this right here is crazy. It's absolutely mind-blowing to me that our running back, he is now the highest paid running back in the NFL. $90 million. What in the world am I'm trying to like put my head around this, because really I cannot believe $90 million. Ain't nobody worth $90 million. They just so I mean even Brissett for the Colts just signed I believe it was a 2 or a 4-year deal for $20 million. So I'm looking at this and I'm like, what in the world? To me, where is all this money coming from? And it looks like it's just going to continue to go up for running backs, for quarterbacks. And I look at Jared Goff for the Rams, $136 million. Good Lord. These people are just, I can't, I'm mind blown. Like my chair can't handle it. It's like overdose. I can't. I'm looking at this and I realize Ezekiel Elliott is good. I'm not saying, he's not good. I don't think he's the best back in the league. He ain't won a Super Bowl. Dallas ain't won a Super Bowl in God knows how long. And yet they're going to pay this man $90 million? $90 million? Really? Can we take a step back and understand how much $90 million at $50 million guaranteed? Is he going to finish out the 6 years? I doubt it. Is he going to get hurt in the middle of year 1 or year 2 of this new contract? I think so. Can his body handle the workload? Possibly. So for week 1, they're going to give this guy 20 to 25 carries for week 1. And then they're going to have Pollard and their other backs handle Alfred Morris and Tony Pollard handle the rest of the game. So for 25 carries, this man starting out, because he's now reported to training camp and all of this, and looking at what's going on, for $90 million, you start off with 20 to 25 carries. That's a sweet deal, ain't it? So that means to me, at 20 to 25 carries, is he in shape? Is that normal? Looking at 30 carries, 35 carries, maybe. That man should carry the workload of the whole game. And I'm wondering, what is this going to do now that he's got this money? How is he going to play throughout the year? Is he going to play up to $90 million worth of incentive? How do we figure this out? $90 million. Nobody is worth $90 million. Brett Favre ain't worth $90 million. I don't understand. They've got to put a cap on this thing. because you're going to be talking about in the next in the next collective bargaining agreement how much of this is going to go up and continue to go up in the sense that they're paying somebody right now in 2000 and because his rookie contract is not up until 2020. So in a 6-year deal, $90 million, $50 million guaranteed. What in the world does all this mean? How do you play up to $90 million worth of yourself? I don't know. You would have to have a breakout season, win the playoffs, win the Super Bowl, and that's where they're expecting. I'm saying maybe they'll win 8 games, maybe. I mean, you got to look at where it is. So that bothers me a little bit. For those of you who are just tuning in, we are on Facebook Live. I do apologize. We're not on Let Go Radio. Miss Winnie had something come up, and she was unable to get to get to Let Go Radio to get everything set up. We will be back on Let Go Radio next week. We are on Facebook Live right now. So I just want to let you guys know that. Now, that is the first story. The second story, and I really want to talk about this. The Washington Nationals last night, the game was amazing. They were down 8-4 in the top of the 9th inning. They were playing the Mets, okay? They're leading in the wild card right now. They wouldn't give up on Tuesday against the New York Mets, and their resiliency paid huge dividends. Washington scored 7 runs in the 9th inning, burying the Mets in a walk-off 3-run home run, courtesy of Kurt Suzuki. So let me explain something. You are looking, and I've said this before. Washington, what's up, Carl? Thank you for joining us. Appreciate it. Good to see you. Hope you enjoyed the show today. I look at the Nationals as a team, and they have exploded. Everything that their manager is doing, everything that the team is doing. You've got, Trey Turner. I mean, you've got Victor Robles. You've got Kurt Suzuki. You've got Adam Eaton. I mean, look at the talent that is on this team. And I will tell you right now, for Howie Kendrick to come off the bench and do what he's done, they're pitching. Now that they've got Max Scherzer back, you're seeing an entirely it's like the first part of the season just imploded for them. They were last in everything. They're first and second in almost every category. It is amazing. They have they've gotten 3 sweeps in their last 5 series. They're 1-1 in the series against the Mets. So I mean, we're looking at a team that is just doing astronomical things. And I got to tell you, Davey Martinez I love the attitude because it's a one game at a time attitude. And sometimes he'll even break it down to 1 inning at a time. I mean, and to me, Kurt Suzuki and Yan Gomes are 2 of the best bat catchers in Major League Baseball. I have seen Suzuki stop amazing pitches from going too far. The double plays that they have picked up, the ability that they have is just amazing. I really think that this team, if they can get in to the playoffs, I think they're going to go all the way, and I think they're going to win the World Series. And they're so talented. And this team reminds me of 2012, 2015. It's just Gerardo Parra, the spirit that he's brought in for this team is amazing. Every time they score a home run, they're dancing in the dugout. They're up, and what's really cool about this, and watching their games and listening to FP Santangelo and Bob Carpenter is this. These guys hang out with each other at games. They do their business, and then they hang out after. They're working off the field together. They're working out together. They're helping each other. They're trusting in each other. And that, to me, makes a great baseball team better. But not only that, their manager doesn't freak out. I mean, he has, I would say, spastic moments. But to me, Davey Martinez is just, he's calm, cool, collected. He has a plan. They execute well. They've been executing well. Trey Turner is swinging the bat better than anybody in the league, in my opinion. You're talking about, God, the 1-2 punch. I mean, Corbin, even the pitching, Corbin, Scherzer. They're about to get Doolittle back. And the thing about it, their closer, Tanner Rainey, we've talked about this. Tanner Rainey coming in the 7th or 8th inning and pitching shutout innings. The 7th and the 8th inning in the beginning of the season was a curse for these guys. A curse. And you're looking at Juan Soto and Trey Turner as two of the best players in baseball. That 1-2 punch. I'm going to tell you right now, Juan Soto coming out with 2 strikes, his 2-strike swing is one of the most beautiful things to look at on the face of this earth. And I never really watched baseball that much. I have gotten so into watching the Nationals play in the last 4.5 to 5 years that I can't say enough about this team. And the way that they lift each other up when the defense isn't there, the offense is there. They're scoring 6 to 8 runs a game. I mean, things are happening for this team. Amazing to me. And I think they're going to get to the playoffs. I believe that they're going to advance. I believe they're going to go to the World Series, and I believe they're going to win the thing. And we'll see again. I believe that they play tonight to finish off the 3-game series with the Mets. If they can take 2-1 on this, and now we've got Atlanta coming up, because Atlanta's hot right now, but Atlanta's injury prone. They've got a lot of injuries coming in. So there's that. Now let's move away from baseball for just a second. Okay, I want to talk about this story that I found. Lonzo found out the Lakers had traded him through social media. Former Los Angeles Lakers point guard Lonzo Bell learned of his all-season trade to the New Orleans Pelicans the same way most of the people heard about it most fans heard about it on the news. I found out on Twitter. Ball told Real 92.3, LA's Big Boy. Sorry. We was in the car. We had just left my grandfather's house on the way to Lamels Drew, I hope I pronounced that right, league game. Through reports of the agreement broke late June, Bell was officially dealt to the Pelicans on July 6th, alongside, Brandon Ingram, Josh Hart, and a number of future draft considerations in exchange for the perennial All-Star big man Anthony Davis. Okay. Still, it's not as if the move caught the 21-year-old off guard. I knew I was going to be traded, Ball admitted. I'd just been in trade talks for so long, and then it's Anthony Davis. LA is going to do what they got to do to get superstars. All right, here's the thing. I want to say this because, to me, you got to find out you're being traded through social media. What does that say about the organization? Can we step back for a second? Can we talk about something? I mean, really, I'm trying to go back and say, how in the world does a popular organization let their players find out? Not now, we're talking about managers and agents and all this. I don't believe he can fly, because he's gonna be flying, but he's flying to another team. I'm gonna tell you that. How in the world do you let one of your star players know they're gonna be traded, and they find out through social media? How does this happen? You got an all-star organization that's got big names, and you're gonna let one of your guys go, but they find out through social media? No. That's wrong. That's wrong. Whether it's NBA, whether it's in NFL, well, I don't care if it's PGA. I don't care if it's PBA. Now, as an athlete, we have right now, I say we, like I'm an athlete too, sorry. There are rights for athletes to where they should be able or should be talked to by management. There should be, and Ball said he knew he was going to be traded. I get that, but still, the man ain't got to find out on social media. All right, now, I told you I didn't have a lot of sports stuff, and I want to take my time on covering this, because this topic that I'm about to cover right now is going to hit a lot of people hard. Okay, and you don't have to agree with me. You don't have to like me. You don't have to agree with anything I say. But I'm gonna take a step back for a minute, and this is why. I have 2 emails here that I'm gonna read at the end of the show. But I want to talk about dating someone or marrying someone with a disability, and I want to talk about a couple of things that ambulatory people, meaning people who can use their legs and walk, may not realize. Okay, and I don't want to say this to be offensive to anybody, but this is going to be truthful. Okay, so what we're going to talk about right now is marriage and dating take a lot of work. When you love somebody and you care about somebody, a relationship takes work. A relationship is also two-sided. There's never one person that does anything wrong. It's two. Okay, there are 2 sides to every story. In every relationship that I've been in every relationship that I've had, and being married to a wonderful individual like Emily, communication is, bar none, the most important piece of relational building blocks, whether you're dating or you're married. You have to communicate with your partner. If you do not talk, if you bottle things up, if you just let it sit, what happens is things build. And it can be a big thing that you're dealing with. And if you don't talk about it and you hold it in and you don't process it and get it out in the open, a little thing can set it off. Okay? Now, what does this have to do with dating and marriage, with dating someone with a disability? I have cerebral palsy, and a lot of people know that. Some don't. Okay? My wife has spina bifida. Okay, the cool thing about our marriage is my weaknesses are her strengths. I can do dishes and mop floors, but I have trouble getting laundry out of out of the washer. Emily is able to walk through her spina bifida. She's able to walk. The break in her spine was low enough. Was low enough that it did not affect her being able to walk. Now, where I'm able to cook, she's able to cook too, and we can share that responsibility. Okay, the other part about this is, in a relationship, it's no one person has to do everything. Laundry is a beast, because when you deal with laundry, you're dealing with 2 people's laundry. If you have a roommate, that does his own or her own. Laundry is running all the time. You got to fold it. You got to dry it. You got to wash it. You got to take it out. You got to transfer it. And when you have degenerative disc disease like my wife has, it makes it tough. Now, the reason I wanted to talk about dating someone with a disability is I want to go into what it takes for me. When I was dating Emily, before we were married, it is very difficult for anyone with a disability that does not drive to go on a date. And here's why. If you look at life and you look at what you have to do to accomplish things, I am lucky enough to have a van. But here's the catch. I don't drive. I have my license. I don't drive. I have spastic cerebral palsy. I don't trust myself. It's not something I'm comfortable with. I've tried it. I can do it in areas where there are no traffic, but I'm restricted from interstate driving. I have to wear my contact lenses. I have to have a built-up accelerator and a turning knob on my car, which I have. Okay? So I have someone else to drive for me. Now, when I'm able to get a driver or someone to drive for me, things are great. Okay? But we're talking about if Emily and I want to go out to Red Lobster for dinner, number one, I've got to call people 3 or 4 days in advance, 5 days in advance to get it set up. Okay? I've got to set up a backup just in case the person that says they can do it cancels. You can't rely on public transportation because public transportation doesn't run that long. And then when you get to the restaurant or where you've got to go, the person that is driving you has to stay with you because you've got to be able to get back. So you're looking at being able to get, number one, transportation, setting up the time, not inconveniencing anyone else with their time, because how long, that you have to look at how long, number one, it takes you to get to and from the restaurant, how long the order is going to be, how long it takes you to eat, then you get back, you've got to look at traffic. All of that stuff has to be planned out in advance. It is very difficult for us, Emily and myself, to do a lot of things that are not close to the house because of all of the rigmarole that it takes for us to set it up. And I'm sure that other people with disabilities that do not drive and don't have a family member or a driver that they can rely on a lot, because here's the thing, you rely on a driver a lot, that cuts into their time and they get tired. So now their time is cut and you've got to have a list of 10 to 15 people that you can spread out, and are they reliable? When they say they can do it, are they able to do it? I mean, even me getting to karate is tough because Steve right now is really the only driver that I have that I rely on a lot because, but see, he goes to karate too, and that's one thing that makes it easier is that we go to karate together. I'm thankful for Steve. I'll tell you right now, that is a wonderful thing. Now, Miss Carol has helped me. My buddy Mike has helped me. My brother has helped me, and I've got people that I can call. But if you don't have that network, and Miss Winnie has said it 1,000 times, it does take a village to make things possible. But here's where you've got to look beyond all this. In talking about all that, if you don't do things, if you don't get out of the house in your chairs, and you don't have things that are close, whether it's even going to the grocery store together or going to restaurants that are by your house, whether it's pizza places, there needs to be something that you're able to do to take the everyday boredom of life away. Because if you do not, regardless of what disability you have and how great the relationship is, it will get stale. And you can get bored and things can happen. Now, Emily's mom has helped us a lot, but she doesn't like driving and she's in Newport News. So the problem with that is you got to drive 45 minutes to an hour, counting traffic to get to where we are. And that's the hard part about, trying to figure all of this out. So the emails that I have here, and one is from Casey. Casey did not say where she's from, but I'm going to read this email because a really great question is in here. My name is Casey. I have cerebral palsy. My husband has cerebral palsy as well. We both do not drive. We do have a decent public transportation system, but it does not run very long. It only runs from about 8 in the morning to 4 in the evening, Monday through Friday. It does not run on the weekends. Actually, I'm sorry. She says it does run on Saturday, but it runs from 11 to 3 on Saturdays. With both of us not being able to drive, we have tried contacting several people. The big issues that I run into is, yes, I can do it, yes, I can do it, and they end up not doing it. How do you get past people saying they're going to do something and then they don't do it? I want to make this work, but we're not able to do as much as we would like. We deal with the transportation as it is. Do you have any suggestions? How do you deal with it? Do you drive? Thank you for your time, Casey. All right. Now, there's a great question in here. How do you deal with the I'm going to do it, and then they don't do it? When it comes to people, you have to understand, when you don't drive, when you're not able to drive, regardless of what your disability is, you have public transportation, taxis, TRT, whatever the transportation is. Outside of that, you rely on people. And you have to develop a tough skin, and that is so hard to do because you cannot take it personal. People are going to tell you they're going to do something, and a lot of them won't. It is the people that you connect with, that you trust, that you know, and there will be a network of people that you find. I can't say there'll be 10 of them. I've got about 4 or 5 that I trust. Everybody is going to get tired. Everybody is going to get mad at some point in time, and you're going to have to change a lot of things according to someone else's schedule. I had to learn very early in life, when you rely on people, you can't rely on anything. You have to take everything with a grain of salt and be willing to just go with the flow. And that, for me, is one of the hardest things to do in the entire world. Because when I want to get something done, I want to get it done at that moment. And I have to learn, still to this day, that when I rely on people and when I rely on the schedules of other people that have to drive me because I don't drive, time and effort revolve around them. It can cost a lot of money. Okay? Another thing that people don't think of, yes, I have a van. The upkeep, oil changes, tire rotations, alternators, a BCM, ECM, body control module, electronic control module, powertrain, all of that, I have to pay for. No help. Okay? We get the money that we get. We pay rent. We pay bills. Everything else, we have to make work. There was a point in time when my car didn't work. I couldn't go anywhere. And you got to get it to where sometimes that's going to happen. And that's going to be okay, because sometimes you have to build up money to pay off one thing. And you may be stuck for a while. With public transportation and with whether it's medical, whether it's TRT, whether it's a bus system. If you have a bus system, understand the route, understand where the route goes, and understand how long it runs. Because the one thing that you don't want to do is you don't want to get stranded, because you can very, very easily. Our public transportation sucks in Portsmouth, and I'm being honest. There are some good points to it, but you've got to go to get to one area. You've got to get off of 4 buses, and you got to change routes, and you got to know all this stuff. So you've got to be able to research all of this and understand that you have to know what you're getting into before you start riding public transportation. Because Logisticare and places like that, they tell you they're going to be there at 1:30 and they show up at 3 o'clock, you're stuck. I have been waiting for 4 hours to go home, and I call the living Jesus out of those people. And they understand. That's where the setting the time up ahead from the appointment, when you know what time your appointments are and you know what time you want to go somewhere, set a pickup time up ahead of time. That is probably one of the biggest pieces of advice I can give with public transportation and with medical transportation that has to get you from place to place. Set up a pickup time ahead of time. Know the routes that they take. Have somebody that can follow them to see what routes they're taking. You may have to call management. You may have to call upper management. You may have to talk to 20 or 30 people. It's a lot of work. But if you want to do something bad enough, if you want to go to Walmart and you want to go to different areas and you want to get to places and public transportation is all you've got to make it work. And sometimes you got to go through hell to do it, but you got to make it work. As far as marriage, here's the thing. Everything that affects me affects my wife, and vice versa. Everything that affects my wife affects me. I will say this in the most honest way possible. I put my wife first in everything. And I try to do it as much as I can. I can't say I always do it. I can't say I'm good at it, but I try as hard as I can to put my wife first. One of the things that makes marriage work, before I read this last email, I got about 15 minutes before I got to go. I want you to understand the art of communication between a husband and a wife. Telling your wife or telling your husband how you feel and why is important. When you want things to change, they don't change without communication and understanding between both parties. Make sure that you never go to bed angry. That's important. If you go to bed angry with a spouse or a girlfriend or, whoever, and it's the last time you see them, do you want the last thing through your mind to be anger? I know for me, I don't. Understand that communication, I can't always have what I want right away. My wife has to process and think and put her words together. I'm the type of person, when there's a problem, I want to deal with it right then, right there, get it out in the open. And here's a big one. Talk. Don't yell. Use dialogue communication. Dialogue communication, a simple way to explain it, is you have a person with either a talking stick or a pen. And with dialogue communication, the person that has that pen or that stick is the only person that can talk at that time. The only thing the other person can do while dialogue communication is going on is reiterate what the person says with every statement to make sure that it was heard properly, because what people hear and what they think someone said is not always the case of how it works. Let me give you an example. I don't like the way, okay, my wife has the talking stick or the pen, and she says, I'm upset because I feel like, you came across da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And you say, what I heard you say was, you're upset because you feel that I came across da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And if you do it that way, it takes time. But you're making sure that you're reiterating what the other person says, you're communicating, and you're not screaming at the top of your lungs at each other, and you walk away before anything is accomplished. And sometimes you got to walk away and leave it alone. Sometimes you got to walk away and let it process, or roll away and let it process and leave the room. That's okay, but you got to come back to it. Now, let me read this last email from Jason. I want to point this out because this one kind of got to me a little bit, and not in the sense that of what he said, but the question that he asked. I've been dating my girl. My name is Jason. I watch your show every week. I've been dating my girlfriend Erica for almost 2 years. I have cerebral palsy. She has MS. We are thinking about getting married, but we are worried about our disability benefits. We are worried about the things that are going to get taken away, and we're worried about if we can take care of each other. Do you think marriage is worth it? With all of the things that got taken away, is it worth it to get married, or should we just stay boyfriend and girlfriend and keep things the way they are? That way we don't lose anything, we don't lose benefits. Yours truly, Jason. You rock, Sports Minion. All right, Jason, this is probably the most difficult question for me that's ever asked. If I love someone and they love me back and we want to get married, we're going to do it. Regardless of the penalties, regardless of the money taken away, regardless of the Medicare restrictions, regardless of, how much money we make and this, that, and the other. Because marriage, to me, is in the eyes of God. Now, that's my opinion, my religion, and that's where I'm going with that. Okay, but here's the problem. This is something that you need to speak about with Erica. You need to contact your Social Security Administration, contact your social services, make sure that you know everything that is going to happen. Make sure that you talk to more than one person. You get second opinions on exactly what's going to happen financially, because you need to know how much money you're going to have as a couple, as individuals. He asked a question in here also I didn't read about signing a prenuptial agreement. That can be a good idea. That is something, again, that you will talk about with Erica. I know people that have done that. It's a hit or miss. I believe that marriage should be for love, and if you love Erica and Erica loves you and you guys want to spend the rest of your lives together, that you should get married. I don't believe that marriage is just a piece of paper. I've never believed that. Again, that's me. A lot of things happened when Emily and I got married, good and bad. Okay? In life, and in every relationship that you have, you're going to have good and bad situations. This is why I said, make sure that you talk to your social services department, that you talk to Social Security, that you understand about insurance, about living situations, whether your apartment is income-based, whether it's Section 8. There's a lot of things that go into, what's going on when marriage happens, because when marriage happens, the income is looked at as one instead of two. And Medicare, I want to say the Medicare premium is like 136, 138, 140 something out of each check of the person that has it. Now, that's here in Virginia. I'm not sure where you are. Again, find that out. You got to know, if you get married, how much the deductions are going to be each month. One of the best things that Emily and I do, and I do this because with Emily's memory issues, I handle the finances. Set up a budget. Stick to that budget. It is important to do it. And if you want to make it happen, that's what you got to do. There are things that you're going to have to sacrifice for yourself and for each other. But if you truly love each other and you want to do it, get married. That's all I'm going to say on that. I don't believe in living in the same house as boyfriend and girlfriend and not being married. Again, this is me, and I'm not saying that's what you have to do. Some people do that. That's them. Their money situation is different. You may end up having more. You may end up having less. I don't know. But one of the things that it's going to take is both of you working together. Make sure both of you ask as many questions as you can. Because having a basic financial situation or portfolio of what you're doing and where you're going is important. Okay? Guys, listen, you can reach me on my YouTube channel, which is the Sports Minion Radio Show, youtube.com. You can reach me on Yahoo, the Sports Minion Radio Show at yahoo.com. You can reach me on my Facebook like page, the Sports Minion Radio Show. You can reach me on Twitter at the Sports Minion Radio Show at Minion Sports. Make sure that you tune in every Wednesday at 2 o'clock for the Sports Minion Radio Show. I love doing this show. 25 is a big one. 25 shows, guys. I was so honored to be able to do 25 shows. Again, we will be on Let Go Radio next week. I want to thank everybody for tuning in and listening and joining the show. Again, we were on Facebook Live this week. Sorry that we weren't able to be on Let Go Radio, but we had some things come up with Ms. Wilson. She's got a lot going on, and we just went through Facebook this week. I need to get some viewers. I saw 1 to 2 viewers this whole hour. I was very surprised. I usually have 6, 7, 8 people tuning in, watching every week. I want to keep doing this, okay? I enjoy doing this. Please, please, please keep the emails and questions coming. I enjoy talking about issues with cerebral palsy. I enjoy the hard questions. I like talking about the hard topics because if I get them out there and I understand what's going on, I don't know all the answers, guys. I want you guys to chime in. My cousin usually watches every week, and I'm so thankful for that. Carl joined in. I appreciate that. Master Jack Dark usually joins in. And, I'm so thankful for the people that watch this show. My buddy Blake, Noah, James, Curtis, everybody joins in at this thing. And I really, really appreciate the fan base that I have. So make sure to tune in every Wednesday at 2 o'clock for the Sports Minion Radio Show, where I deliver sports to the community the best way I can. Guys, if you can't be good, be bad, but be good at it. This is D to the J with a roll away, saying we'll see you next Wednesday at 2 o'clock for the Sports Minion Radio Show. Take care, everybody. Elizabeth, thank you for joining me. I appreciate it. I love you, cuz.